All right, ladies, this one is for you. The handsome face is back again. So, should you buy a home, ladies? Well, I say yes. So, always recommend buying a piece of real estate. If you look and research history, it's always been the best hedge against inflation. Fantastic investment, and you get fantastic write-offs as well, minimizing your entire tax liability, whether you are an entrepreneur or you are a 1040 employee. So always recommend buying a piece of real estate. So it's all relative, again, to where you're located based on the type of investment you're going to make or the type of down payment you need. This is mainly for you gals that are self-made or self-saving, meaning no silver spoon from mommy or daddy. Now, if you do have that, fantastic. And if you can make it on your own, you have the opportunity perhaps to buy in a more expensive market. San Francisco, Los Angeles, fantastic and beautiful places to live and be. A lot of cool stuff going on in cities like that. But if not, you can always take a step back and go to one of these mid-cities and look into investing into some other city that is more affordable. I recommend usually, I know a lot of you gals want to buy an actual home. I actually recommend buying a duplex. Not so much a triplex, but a duplex where you can live in one and rent out the other. And it makes a good long-term investment. You could build equity into that piece of property and then jump up to buying your own home. Now, I know you gals have that biological clock ticking. So depending on what age category you are at and what you're ready for in life, again, I always say be mindful and self-aware and know thyself first. But highly recommend investing. Now, there's different parts of the country that is much, much more affordable than some of these big cities that are world renowned, you know, Miami, LA, New York. So we all want to live there, but unless you have the wherewithal to put a deposit, meaning a down payment onto a piece of property, one of those areas, then that's fantastic. But if you don't, so this is generally speaking for the majority of you gals out there, find a location, maybe not so close to the larger cities, a step away, a few miles, get into a piece of property, and then from there you can graduate into another piece of property. So it's all about just starting and getting started off on some sort of investment. And you can eventually hang on to that property, keep it as a rental. Then you can eventually move that rental up into another one, and you can defer it through a 1031 tax exchange in regards of investment property. So it's a step-by-step process, you guys. And I really highly recommend, because we all need a place to live. We always need a place to live. Everybody does. So you'll always be able to rent it. And rentals right now are going through the roof, because most Americans do not have the savings for a down payment on to buy a piece of real estate. So that's something you have to keep in mind. This change has been going on for years right now. The rental property investment. You can also invest in a RIT, real estate investment trust, if you don't want to actually rent in purchase a tangible piece of real estate. But I recommend a tangible piece of real estate, whatever you can afford. Again, don't step into a bad neighborhood, because that's not a safe place for you gals to be. But just be patient right now, and get into a place where there are communities, where there's families, and there's mixed use perhaps, where you have homes, and usually in these older neighborhoods, older parts of town, but that are clean and safe still for you. And you can go, different parts of the country are not like Los Angeles or San Francisco or New York or Miami. So if you step away from the larger cities, you will find affordability. I recommend a duplex. It's easy to manage and maintain. And you can rent out one side and live in the other, build up your equity, keep the property, rent it out, buy yourself your actual own home eventually. Again, fantastic hedge against inflation, real estate. Create your own LLCs, limited liability company, to put your investments under. And you go from there, and eventually you'll have more and more freedom as you reach into your later 30s, 40s, you'll have all your financial freedom, be able to make all your best choices in life, not making a choice or a bad decision based on your economic welfare, meaning hooking up with a guy because perhaps he can take care of you. You'll be able to take care of yourself and yet make fantastic choices in regards of a man. Remember I said like-minded people, when you become the best version of yourself, right, you will attract, generally speaking, the better version of others. Again, always know thyself first. Move through life, be fluid, be mindful, self-aware, be a critical thinker, and highly recommend buying real estate. Just be open-minded, and you may have to step out of your comfort zone to step into a different zip code where you can afford it, but then you could perhaps step back into those areas that you may choose to live a little closer or in the city and be a real estate investor. There's all different levels of real estate investment, so keep that in mind, girls. Hope all is well, and we'll catch you later. Ciao.